and I'm just going to go ahead and click record. Okay. So,
Okay,
turn it over to
awesome.
Katie so we can go ahead and get started.
My name is Katie Sullivan, and I actually got started in It Works back when I was a junior in college, and I was 20 years old at the time, and I was crazy busy. I was working 3 jobs. I was taking 19 credit hours at the time. I was in a sorority, and on top of all of that, I also was a ministry leader for a student organization. So my life was literally being in my car, going from Chick-fil-A to Taco Bell to work to school to back. And I was really tired of it. I was so just like tired of being tired that I was crying all the time. I was calling my mom and I was homesick, and I didn't feel like life was what I wanted it to be. I didn't know where I was headed. I actually had tried 6 different majors. Yeah, no big deal. And I was in child and family studies at the time, and I didn't see big potential in that major. I actually was about to go into my internship, and I just decided, hey, might as well give it a try. Why not? But I had a lot of fears, just like everybody does. I thought, I have no time. Is this going to be something I can still do? I thought a lot of different things. Would I be successful? Of course, I was really young at the time, but I didn't let that stop me. I literally used all of that fear to force me forward and take that big leap of faith. And I was rocking it from the moment I started. I was so nervous that I was messaging anyone and everyone, calling them up on my phone. I was that obnoxious girl. I even got told by my class, like my pledge class, that I was going to get a superlative that was most likely to sell you a wrap. And honestly, I was actually really offended by that at first, but I decided to take it as it was, and I decided to prove every single person that told me I couldn't do something. I used that as my fuel. That was my why. If anyone was to ask me, I was actually doing okay money-wise. I mean, I could have been a broke college student, but I was working 3 jobs. So I was just really ambitious from the start, messaging and calling people. I posted on Facebook. I didn't even know a thing about Instagram at all, and that's like my main thing now, which is so funny. But from there, I went Ruby in my first 2 months. I earned a $1,000 Ruby bonus. My boyfriend joined me on the journey. He earned a $1,000 Ruby bonus, and then I hit this major slump in my business. I actually didn't know what to do. We had tried literally everything. We tried flea markets, we tried parties, we tried social media, and I felt like I hit that wall. Like if any of y'all feel like you've ever hit that wall before, that's exactly what I hit. And for 6 months, I sat in my negativity, and I actually was in my internship at that time, and I hated it. I was writing 5 50-page portfolios, and it was the worst experience of my life. I was helping wipe 3-year-olds' butts, and I was like 21 years old. It was horrible. So I realized that that wasn't something I wanted to go home to. If, that was going to be my real career and my real job, like I couldn't do that and have babies at the same time. Like, holla no. So that's actually when I got in the car and cried to my mom, and I said, this business is going to be what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And everything changed. When I threw all of my eggs in the basket, I changed my major to get out of college as soon as possible, and I graduated. I went to conference that year, actually, and I went from Ruby to Emerald to Diamond to Double, and I earned, with my boyfriend combined, $76,000 in bonuses, and I was able to graduate in 2016 as a 22-year-old, and I never had to go get a job, nor have I ever since then. So it's been an absolute blessing. Both Ron and I, we're youngins, but we work from home together. And it's such a blessing because it would have never been possible if I didn't overcome all of those hoops and those challenges and just decided to put all my eggs in the basket and just run. When your why is strong enough, you can do literally anything, and you become unstoppable from the moment that your why is strong enough. So that is what I'm going to mainly focus this meeting around, is that you have to drive your focus around the inches between your 2 ears. Your motivation comes not from your upline, your downline, from your sidelines. It comes from within. And so when you are trying to sign a distributor, that's the first thing that they're going to notice. They're going to notice if you are scared or you're timid. They're going to notice if you're confident and you're strong. So which one would you rather be? I know the answer is confident, right? So what I tell my team all the time is these 3 things. So I tell them that confidence, plus consistency will equal that currency for you. So if you're ever talking to someone in person, imagine as if you are in a hotel elevator and you have 5 seconds to spit out exactly how you work this business and what it is that you do. Can you guys imagine right now that you could do that? Yes or no? Give me head nods or shakes. Yes? Okay. That's the kind of confidence you've got to have even when in person and even when on social. I mainly work my business now through social media. I know a lot of you guys do parties and stuff. I do parties as well, but a lot of what I do is on social media. So you have to let that presence show through your messages. So when I started, I immediately noticed that I was not being consistent in that 6-month slump. And that's what caused me to not sign anybody. The moment that I listened to a Show Me the Money call, it was Jocelyn Yates and it was Brooke Tomatich, was the biggest aha of my life because it turned me around right before I was about to quit, right before I was about to say, I give up, I can't do this, I'm not successful, I'm not good enough. I heard that call, and that's when I figured out what worked best for me. So what I may say tonight on this Zoom may be something that you're like, whoa, I can't do that. Like, it's totally different than what I do, and that's okay. That's what all of this training is for, is so that you can learn maybe some ways that will work best for you. But for me, the moment I learned what works best for me, it grew my confidence, and it grew how I enrolled distributors. So I actually hit that slump, and I got out of that internship after my summer. So it was August of 2016. And in October, we bought conference tickets. But in August, it was kind of like a building month for me. September, a building month. October, I was the top distributor enroller out of everyone. And that was simply because I found what worked best for me. I built that confidence. And even though I was not consistent for the 6 months prior, I decided to put in as much consistency as I possibly could. And I took off running. I went to events, and I actually did a training with my team yesterday, and I told them that this is the 4 characteristics you want out of a runner. 1, are they going to events? Are they plugged in? Are they posting? Are they being consistent? Are they messaging? All those things. 3, are you as a leader giving them tasks, and are they responding to those tasks? Let's say you give them like, hey guys, tell me what your goals are for November. Let's say they don't tell you, that person's like basically a 400 box on my chart. They are not in a running spot whatsoever. And then the 4th, it's basically just all of those things. Are they running? Are they working? Are they listening to you? Are they coachable? So all of those 4 things I told my leaders yesterday, you've got to focus on if you're looking for your runners. Okay, but first we've got to, of course, talk about how to enroll these people. And I'll be honest with you guys, I used to think it was, quantity? Like as many people as I could enroll. And I used to be so on top of that. Y'all, I enrolled, my most was 45 in a month. Yeah, so that was nuts. And let me tell you what happened. Out of 45, I'm trying to think how many are left. I can't even think, like maybe 0. Seriously. And the reason is I couldn't spend my time with them. They weren't quality. They were people who just wanted to join because it sounded fun. And so the difference now is that I tell them exactly what to expect. I want a runner. I don't want to waste my time on someone anymore who is going to waste their time with me. Like, I don't like that whatsoever. So when I think about someone who I'm going to enroll, it's absolutely going to be someone who knows it's hard work, who knows that they have to listen to me, who knows that if I give them all the tips, then they're going to take those tips and they're going to run to success. And so far this month, I've signed 5 distributors, and every single one of them have gathered their 4 or more customers. So I had one girl in their first week sign like 8 and a distributor. So it's different now. And that's what I'm going to train you guys on, because honestly, like back then I thought I was so awesome. I was so confident. I was like, yeah, I'm the top distributor enroller. Like nobody can touch me. But my volume didn't like mask that. My volume was low, but I had all these people. I was like blocked in for president. I swear I could have been blocked in for ambassador like a year ago, but that's not going to get you anywhere. You have to have the quality that wants to run with you or else you're going to be wondering, I'm putting in all this work and training all these people and nothing is happening. That is where it's going to change your mind when you think, okay, yeah, you're a rock star. If you sign like 30 distributors, that's great. But it's not going to get you as far as it is if you have 5 amazing people, or you're 3 on your set success and you pour into those 3 or 5. Does that make sense to everybody? Because it took me a long time to learn that lesson. It took me experiencing a lot of months where I was like, I don't understand. I remember I did the math from February 2016 until it was like December 2016. I remember messaging my upline, Caitlin Gallagher, and I was like, I have enrolled myself from February until the end of the year more than 60 distributors, and my volume is dropping. My volume is going lower. What is the deal? And she's like, are all these people even enrolling? And I was like, no, they're not. Like, they're not doing anything. And so that is where everything's going to be different on this Zoom from what I used to train on, because you want quality. You absolutely want quality. So Meredith, do you have any questions or anything? Does anybody have any questions at that point?
No, the only thing Megan wrote in the chat was, do you think quantity is better at first for promotions? Like, is it a necessary evil? Yeah.
It is a necessary evil. I will tell you that anytime that I have just like looked at a chart and I've just been like, oh, only 50 more to go, and then I try to go and like grab 50, yeah, like I'll work my butt off. I will work my butt off, and then I will feel exhausted, and then I have to think, oh my God, I have to train all these people, and then I don't. And it's, no one can train that many people unless you pour them into your leadership and your downlines. But even then, they're too stressed out trying to figure out what they need volume-wise. I definitely don't find it worth it. If you find one person who's going to do this business with you, you are having less of the effort. Think about that. Think about your chart right now. If you have 50 people, I know I told my triple yesterday, going to be triple. She's a double right now, but she's going to be triple. I erased her entire chart. I literally took her chart and I did it with her, where we erased every single person off that chart if they didn't do those 4 things, or we would move them into a 400 box. So we looked at those qualities and then we moved them over. But what happened is now we have 50 more distributors to go. And of course, if you look at my presidential charts, way more than that, but I'm not going to let that stop me. The reason why is because the moment that I get that 1 or that 2 or that 3 people, they will start signing. And so it's not 50, it's less. And you have to think about all the people that are also working, like all of y'all on this Zoom right now. You know, you're helping to help your downline, and then your downline is helping to help you. So it's called layered leadership. And the moment that I learned what layered leadership really meant and how I could train my new distributors to be like layered leadership, it's when my business changed completely. That's how I was able to go triple, when I literally was like, how is this happening? I think I had like 8,000 in volume left to go before I promoted to triple, and then we just did, because it was a team effort. It wasn't just me feeling like I had this whole chart all to myself. Does that make sense? So when you look at a chart and you're like, oh my gosh, I have 25 people to go, 30, whatever that number is, don't stress. I feel like that's something that my downline does. They look at how many numbers they have to go get, and then they stress over the amount of distributors that they feel like they have to go enroll. And it's not necessarily about the numbers. It's about the quality, because that person will come into your organization and they'll start signing their own distributors out of their own network. So you're doing less of the work. So let me see. Is there any other questions?
That was it.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, let's talk. I mean, how exactly does everyone on your team do things? Do they do parties? Do they do social media? All of the in between?
The people on this Zoom, and primarily, honestly, the majority are online, social media. But my focus is definitely moving into 2018 to be more at least like 80-20. I mean, we've got to get back in the homes or vendor events to some extent, or at least my leadership style has got to go that way. I mean, I just know
I'm going that way too.
I mean, it has to, because like we were talking about at that mini boot camp, I mean, not everybody is going to be duplicatable with social media. You can only teach a certain amount of social media, and people either get it or they don't, or their audience gets it or they don't. And you know what I mean by that, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
And so I've definitely got to get more confident myself at like what we were talking about, booking parties and teaching that from the beginning. But right now I would say mostly just talk on social media, because I mean, over the next probably 3 to 4 months, we're going to branch out and talk more and lead more into the homes into the spring, because I know for promotions that's going to happen. We're going to have to wrap people to promote. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's actually what I'm doing with my team right now too. We're actually taking Meredith's idea about how she goes on to Facebook and she finds like the local area and then she messages them from there. And so we're doing that for the month of November, but we are also still sticking with what we do best.
Yes.
My team is social media all the way, 100%. When I told them we were going to party in November, they were like, what? Like, what's happening? Like, Katie's on crack. Like, what is happening? But it's so true. I actually was talking to Susan Wade recently about this, because it's so true that anyone that I get into my organization, it is so hard to teach them on social media. About 1% can actually pick up exactly what I do. Exactly what Meredith does on social media, exactly what Jocelyn Yates does on social media. It's very hard to find someone, and it has to be the top of the top. So in order to get duplication, a lot of times it's just got to be with your newbies' warm markets. And the best way to gather their warm markets is A, telling them to message all of their first like 10 people, and then B, getting them to do their first party. So that's exactly what we're doing, and I'm really excited about it. And then asking other people to host parties or events, so that way you're kind of tapping into other people that you've never really met and their warm markets as well. So, but as far as social media goes, I have a very amazing schedule. Have y'all watched my Zoom it was with Claire Flores? I don't know if some people have or not, but
Megan's going,
yeah, apparently like this, I don't know like what I did. Like, it was so funny. Like, Ryan and I were like talking about it. We're like I went viral. Like, it was so weird. Like, everybody's chatting about it in the triples and above page and like tagging me. And I've had so many messages. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know how to like, handle this. Like, I can't message everybody back. But it's just funny because it's really, like I said at the boot camp this weekend, it was something that Ryan and I felt like we didn't have a schedule, and we felt like we were struggling, and that we would just go and do whatever we wanted for the day. And then we would be like, oh, we really didn't feel like we worked. Oh, so we needed to go and do that. And so we came up with this schedule, and it really took us about 2.5 years to figure it out. Not kidding. So, like I said, we've done Tinder. Ryan did Tinder. It was really funny. We've done flea markets. We've done parties. We've done all of that. And what has worked best for us is called messaging. If someone were to like tell me, hey, Katie, like if you're about to die tomorrow, what would you do to build your business as far as you can? And it would be messaging. That's the biggest thing that I would do to try to build it as fast as I can, because what it is, Claire asked me on this Zoom, she goes, I don't get it. Like, so many people in the company were so against messaging. Like, why? And I was just like, well, I don't really have an answer why people are so hateful towards messaging, because my opinion is that, first of all, God went out and he had his disciples, or Jesus, and with his disciples, he reached out to people. He reached out to those people to bring them in and bring in the masses. And that's going to be exactly how I look at my business. I have my disciples, my team, and they're reaching out and they're messaging, and that's going to duplicate as well as what I'm doing. And so every single day at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 3 o'clock, we send out 25 messages. And I lead my team in a chat. It's the only chat we have. I love it because honestly, there's some other uplines that have way too many chats, and my team's like, I can't handle it. So we have our one chat, and everybody's in there. If they're a dud, they're not in there really. If they are a newbie and they get put in there and then they eventually just like decide they don't want to do this anymore, they just leave. Like, they are so welcome to leave, and I'm so embracing of it, because I feel like sometimes people on chats are like, oh, so-and-so left. That means like they aren't in the business anymore, and it like creates a negativity, but not with our chat at all. Like, it is like, you can be in there if you want. This is motivating. This is inspiring. It is a business-only chat. We're going to keep each other going all day long. And so at 12, 1, 2, and 3, I literally amp up my team and I say, let's do this. Let's get excited. And we have text replacement on our phones. So I don't know if y'all know about that. It was funny. Courtney Bohr did not know about text replacement. I was like, what? I feel like it like saves my life, like literally. But what we do is we use text replacement. We send out the most honest and very personal message that we can type up to that person. And so many people keep asking me for my messages, but it's really different every single day because I change it. Like it's basically like a skeleton of a message, so I don't make it too long because I'm really wordy if you haven't noticed. But then I just change the wording inside to match the person's personality. So, for example, my first message would be a PDT message, and it would be like, I don't even know. It's like, hey, love, I've been following you for a long time. I love watching you be a mom and blah, 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 blah. That's where I change it. If it's a college student, if it's a pageant girl, or if it's a mom, like I change that. So that's why it's never the same. And then I have my product tester message, which is like literally, hey, it's complimenting the whole time. Every single message I send is complimenting. And my team knows all of like how to do that too. And so we all just use text replacement all day long. And in that chat, you'll see done, 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 done. And then everybody's like, yay. And then what's awesome is after you've sent those messages, you have a full 45 minutes to go and do whatever the hell you want to, which is amazing. So I recently was remodeling our house. And so I would send out those messages. It took me 15 minutes. And then I would go cook lunch. And then I would go sit back down, send some more messages, and then go and paint the walls. And then I would go send some messages. And then I would go and run an errand. And then I would come back. And honestly, it felt amazing because I love to sleep in. I don't start my day until 12, which is amazing. And I didn't feel like I was working all day long. And same with my team. That was something that I was struggling with really bad this year, was like I was working. And I became really exhausted. And so what this has done is it's still the amount of work. It's just working smarter, not harder. Okay, so then that's a morning crew. And what this does is it's for anybody who maybe doesn't have a job or is working from home full time. And we actually get on Zoom and we do it together. It's so much fun. Like we all feel like we're in the same room, and then we hang out and we just send messages. And then we have a night crew. I usually don't do a Zoom for the night crew just because it's later at night and everybody's got their kiddos or whatever. But that's for anyone who's been at work all day long. And it usually just, you hear the chat going off all day long based on someone else's schedule. But if it's say a teacher and they get home, they still have from let's say 4 until 7 or 8 to do whatever they want to do. Literally no business. And I tell my team, no business. You need to breathe. And then from 8, 9, 10, and 11, depending on how late they stay up, they can send those messages, and it only takes 15 minutes per hour. And so I do that sometimes when I'm just sitting at the table watching TV, or I'll do it sitting on the couch. But that literally is how I work my business, is focused around messaging. And on each day of the week, I have something as far as a task. And this task can be done, whenever. If I'm, let's say, in between my messaging, or if I'm not going to work out that day, whatever it may be. But Mondays is charting. So yesterday I charted, and then I got on a Zoom with my team right before our messages, and I just told them their game plan for the month, the end of the month, and then for November. And then Tuesdays is mainly focused on my team. However, some days are different. Today is Halloween, so what I focused on was sending Happy Halloween to literally every single person in my Instagram direct message, which took a long time. So that was a day of work, and I'm exhausted from it. But that's what I'm saying. You can't do that all day long. You will exhaust yourself. So that's why I have tasks for different days. Wednesday is my current loyal customer. So I message any current loyal customer. I kind of actually was ahead of the thing today. Today was a really strong work day for me. I was just really gun-ho today. So, if you have a really awesome day, put in the work. That's fine. But I have a schedule just to make sure I'm not wearing myself out. So today I actually went ahead and did my current loyal customers, and I went back to, I'll show y'all actually, because it's amazing. Okay, because I was literally just looking at it. Okay, this is my current loyal customer template. Excuse me, I'm so gunky right now. And this is literally what I go off of. Every single time I sign a loyal customer, I have Google. Google saves my life. I have Google Photos. I chart on Google. I have my current loyal customers in Google. Everything is on Google, and then you can go and like say your computer crashes, you will never lose this information. It's amazing. But anyway, so they're all in red. And the reason why this particular month is in red is because this is ending their 3 months, right? So I started with these people and I just sent them a text message. You guys can see, like, literally I was sending them messages a minute ago off my laptop. And I basically was like asking them, hey, what is it I say? Customer care. Okay. I say, hey, girlie, this is Katie Sullivan. I just wanted to remind you that this next month would be your 4th order unless you canceled it, because people forget before it runs. But I wanted to let you know about our Perk Points opportunity to earn free products. And I also wanted to let you know how incredible you be at being a consultant. This signs me a lot of distributors. So if that is something that would work for you, your customers are going to be the biggest, strongest distributors you will ever find. I was a customer before I became a distributor. And the girl that signed me as a customer was gone. So she really would have, had a great rock star. But that is why I highlight these people red. It's customer care. And make sure that they know they have an auto shipment running next month so that they're not going to be pissed at me. I send thank you letters, all of that kind of stuff. So this is how I care for my customers every single month. And every single Wednesday, I think about different things I can do as far as sending a letter, just sending them like a, hey girl, how's it going? Happy Halloween. That's just me being relationship based. So that's how that works. And again, I chart on Google. So here's like my presidential chart. And y'all can see where all the green are the people I got to replace or refill. But that's how that works. So Wednesdays is current loyal customers. Thursdays is going to be my potential loyal customers. So I use the Reach app. If y'all saw that Zoom, I explained more on it. But basically, it's a way for you to send out mass messages to people, but it only sends to the person individually. Now, something that Ryan and I actually have been talking about since that Zoom is actually putting people in and categorizing them based on the month that they were talked to, which is going to help me a lot because I basically have like a whole entire PLC list that's like over 400 and it's driving me insane. So we're going to start doing like November PLC or PDT for November. And then that way it's easier for me to kind of keep track because I'm losing a little bit of track. Because I take everyone that I talk to on Instagram, because y'all, I really just work Instagram. I'm trying to work Facebook a little more too. But anyone I talk to on Instagram, I pull them over to my text. Every single one. And every single person gets a label. They're either a PLC, a PDT, or that's it. Like they're either a PLC or a PDT. I also have a CLC, which is current loyal customers. So I keep track of them that way. And I even keep track of my distributors. So they have a DT and a heart. It's kind of funny. And then Fridays is my PDT day. So I focus on PDTs. So that's literally what I do. Like that's my entire day. I love how I have things broken up. And then guess what? I take the weekend off. Like, why shouldn't we, So that's what I train my team on is literally like spending less time, but being smarter with your time. These are power 15 minutes, not power hours. I used to send 50 messages and it would take me an entire hour and I would do a power hour and it would stress me out. I hated it. I'm not focused that long. So this is what really changed my business is getting on a schedule like this. So I'm trying to read this question. Let's see. During a shift, yes, I keep the Zoom on the whole time and they can literally go see what I'm doing. Like one time I brought my laptop into my kitchen and I was cooking food and then I was like talking to them. Like that is what builds relationships with your team as well. So it's been a game changer. We're always talking like most of my team, it's funny, is in Pennsylvania. Like they're all the way up north and they never have events. I actually just messaged the person in charge of the north to be able to get some events there because it's a very small town where a lot of my team is. So that's how I try to really keep a relationship is doing Zooms like this all the time. And then we're like doing the work together and they see that like I'm about to put my Christmas stuff up tomorrow. They'll see that because like, y'all look, literally, that's my Christmas scrap. And they're going to see me doing that in between my messaging. So, do you just pick and choose? Yes. Like I literally go down the list of people that I have because I printed off my Instagram list. And
I thought you printed yours.
Mm-hmm.
And you can Google, like you can YouTube that if you don't know how to do that, guys.
Yeah. I have it YouTubed on like my YouTube, which is Katie Sullivan, and my team.
Sorry, I didn't mean to like interrupt you. Like what's the pro to printing it out? Like, is it better than just going through your list online? Like I usually do by letter, so I was just wondering like why you do it like that.
See, Ryan is different. Everybody's different. So I'm like cool with whatever works for everybody else. Ryan loves to just scroll through Instagram and find someone and then just message them. I'm a checklist kind of person. Whenever I like cross something off, for me, I feel so accomplished. So a lot of my team feels that same way. So that's why I train that way. And that's how I do it. But it's totally up to your personality and how you like to do things. Like if you're organized with the ABCD, EFG thing, whatever that works best for you. For me, it's like checking things off. So that's where I found.
Don't you put like if you have a sheet of like 20 names, you'll put like LC message, DT message. So you can like at a glance see, okay, the 25 that I just did, I sent out 10 PDTs and 15 PLC messages.
Yeah, like
you kind of see what you're focusing on too. If you go through your whole, 2 hours of messaging all day and you sent 3 PDT messages, that's an area that, you know what I mean? Like we just got to find more quality accounts.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I focus on is like whenever I look at a distributor or like say a person and their Instagram account looks like, I don't know how to explain it, crap. And that's going to be someone I'm going to message about being a product tester. But if someone's Instagram account looks like holla hey, I'm going to message them about being a distributor. It's pretty straightforward. I try not to judge someone by the look of their Instagram. I think that's kind of, but at the same time, like, you kind of got to look at it that way. Like, it's the same as Facebook. If you looked at someone's Facebook and they have, like, negativity all over there, what are you going to think? Like, are they going to be a rock star in your team? It's probably going to be hard on you as a leader because you're going to have to train them on how to use their mindset to be positive. So if someone's Instagram is that same way, if it's positive, it looks happy, it looks uppity, I can immediately, in, like, 3 seconds, make the decision. And that's what I do. I'm going to grab my list.
So what I'm hearing is, it's not necessary. All right, so you keep your account extremely positive. You post about your business consistently, what it's done for you, what it's doing for you, that kind of thing. But you're not actively, like, this is your Power 15 messaging. So you're trying to get out messages, as many as possible in 15 minutes. But obviously you're going to get responses, throughout all the day, obviously back throughout the day. But what, as far as engaging or interacting with those people, do you actively try to build a relationship prior, or are you just viewing that thing and sending it to them and then they can click on me and see what I'm about? Is that kind of what you?
I don't. See, I actually tried that. I went through this slump and it was I blame it on Claire Flores. We're best friends, so she knows this. But I blamed it on her because I watched a training video of hers and I tried doing
what I teach. I teach exactly what you're about to say. So you may just really change our lives here. Okay.
No, it's okay. I have to go through things myself to learn. So I decided to take this on and I was like, man, maybe that's why I'm not signing such great quality. Like I always have those thoughts go through my head too, what can I do to get better quality? And so I looked at this YouTube and I was like, dang, Claire's got some really rock star, but you don't know her journey. That's another thing, comparison. So don't compare yourself. But I watched this video and I was like, okay, I'm going to try this. I gave it a try and my business went down because I was slowly trying to comment and like and do all this building relationships. And I was not getting any enrollments whatsoever. Like it was bad. It was like I signed 4 loyals that month. Like that was it. And I was like, something's happening. And I started freaking out. My mindset went wacko. And I realized I have to do what works best for me. And that is literally, it's always since day one been messaging. So like I said, if that's not for you, that's not for you. But for me, I tried doing something else that wasn't me. And it totally went to SHIT. So what I do instead is I build a relationship after the math. So they've been following me. They either want it or they don't. And I find that a lot of times people are just hiding behind their face. Like they want this, they just don't know what to do or what to say. A lot of times I will not get responses, but a lot of times people do not see them. I have my mom like helping me a little bit, and she will like copy and then resend the message. And so what that does is, you know, a lot of times people don't see it. So, excuse me. That's the best way to build a relationship is honestly, in my opinion, after the math, because I become besties. Literally, as soon as I get them over to text, they're my best friend immediately. But I have to get them off Instagram. I'm using Instagram and Facebook and all these other things as my platform, not necessarily as my relationship building. My relationship building comes in when I'm texting that person and talking to them over the phone, or you know, just sending voice messages back and forth. And it builds a strong, strong relationship for sure.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just didn't work for me. Like, it just took a lot of time. Like, I felt like I was commenting and liking and doing all this stuff. But on that video, I actually showed where, and I'll show y'all right now. Okay. Here is my app called Grids. I'm like really far down on myself. Here we go. Okay. So what I do is I pull this up. It's an app on your laptop if you have a Mac, and I just minimize it to two squares or whatever, and then I hit the L button on my laptop, and then I hit space, and space pushes it down, and you can go really fast. Like I don't like that fast, but you don't want to because I got blocked one time. So I just kind of literally anytime I'm like kind of taking a breather for a second, this is what I do. Because it's so mindless. Literally, it's not hard work at all. It's showing that I'm liking these photos. They show up more in my news feed. And every once in a while, I'll also just comment like, this little baby's so cute. So I can send a comment on that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. She's, you know, so cute. So that's what I do. And then I hit send. And then literally that chicken was like the cutest thing I've ever seen. So that's how I build relationships, but I don't spend time doing it. And that's what I felt like I learned from that Zoom was like spending so much time building relationships before you even have them hooked. So instead I try to hook them, I grab them, and if they want this, then I build that relationship, but not the other way around because it took me way too long to sign people. So
I love it.
Yeah. Does anybody have questions on all that?
Does anybody have any questions?
No? Okay. I'm going to show you really quick.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
Do you, so like a lot of times I get where I'll be like, okay, well you text me, and then they never text me, and then I feel like.
Oh, I sent something where they just text me or I text them. So I'll show you. Well, you may be seeing a lot of happy Halloweens today. Hang on. Like literally blew up my entire Instagram direct. Like I sent so many messages, unreal. But again, I used text replacement, so it made it really fast. So here's what I send. Whoa, where'd it go? Come back. There we go. Okay, so this person, I basically sent my message, and then she said, that sounds pretty interesting. What would it entail? I said, happy Halloween at the same time. And I just saw it, which was my bad because I realized like you have to sometimes scroll and then you find messages that you're like, oops. But I give them options, and then she tells me what she wants, and then boom. I say, yay, awesome. Would you happen to have a phone number where I can send more info to? I'm the worst at Instagram direct, laughy face. Mine is 865-246-9100. And then they always give me their number every time. Only a few times will I get emails instead. I hate emails, but I still can send an email. Like, it's not a big deal. If I were to send an email, like I used to always ask that question, like no one would give me the answer. What do you send in an email? I send it just as if I sent a text. I say, hey girl, it's Katie Sullivan from Insta. So you're interested in the hair, skin, nails, correct? Boom. She says yes. Then I send another email. Okay. And then literally what I say is what is on the website. Like on your My It Works website, like the little product description, that's all I have in my notes. And then I send those. Ryan is actually my guru. Ryan is the person who takes the messages and responds. I'm the person who sends out the messages. So we kind of have a game plan, which is awesome because for the longest time he didn't know what to do and he wanted to be a part of this business so bad. So he runs the Blondie Ambition. So it's funny. I signed one of my rock stars who's going to be my diamond for presidential. And I told her the other day, I was like, I didn't talk to you, Ryan did. And she was like, what? Like, I had no idea. And I was like, yeah, it's just really funny. And then he has text replacement on his phone. So he's actually faster at responding to these people than I am. So when he does that thing, usually I'm responding to my team or doing some of those kind of tedious, annoying tasks that I have to do as a triple diamond leader. Like, you know, if someone messages you, I've got to respond. I'm not going to be rude. Or if something's going on with charting, I'll look that over really quick. But my team, what's great about my schedule is my team knows when I'm doing something. They know Mondays I will chart for them. They know that during my workout, which is always at 4:30 usually, or Tuesdays at 6:30, they know I'm off the phone. Like, what's great about having a schedule is they know what I'm doing at all times. So that really helps me as a leader because then they're not just bugging me all day long. So that's what Ryan does. And then I was going to show y'all my little sheet. This is basically how I printed off my Instagram list. And then I basically cross them out if they are someone, I don't know, like usually I just make that decision. Like if I'm like, I don't want to follow them and I don't even want to message them, suppose that maybe they unfollowed me first. Or if I've messaged them on Facebook. So some of these girls that I just pulled up are actually from Knoxville. So I ended up crossing them out because I messaged them on Facebook. But as y'all can see, there's PPP. Those are all product testers. I made that decision just based off of what their account looked like. This person I must have messaged in the past. That's why I wrote that. And then there's a D. So usually it's more P's than D's, but I do message some D's. If they're highlighted, that means I messaged them in the past and they are interested, so they're a potential from the past. And then these are all now potential future people. So I can go back and look at. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what questions do y'all have about all of that? Basically, it's just, for me, it's signing distributors based on messaging. That's how I do everything. And every single day is different based on my schedule. And every single day, I try to keep it the same. I work this business like a business. You know, I'm in the office from 12 until 3. I go and leave for my workout at 3:30, or actually at 4. And then I work out from 4:30 to 5:30. And then I'm usually out to eat or doing whatever. And then I come home and my team knows I'm basically back home by 7. And then the rest of the night, like I'm hanging out and like doing messages. And it's not like an all day thing, which is so amazing. It's such a blessing. So how much time do you spend trying to build your following on Insta? Well, I was trying to explain this to Carrie Young the other night on Zoom, but apparently some people, okay, so you guys know the app called Captivate? You know? Oh, okay. Well, the app called Captivate is going to change your life. Carrie thought that apparently it changed for her, but it's not changed for me, which is great because what changed is what I use. So this is the app. Do y'all see that Whoa. See, like literally, y'all, this is the amount of apps I have. I have like none, and that's all I want. I keep it simple, and that's what's duplicatable. Okay, so this is my social. Dang it, what the frick phone? Okay, this is my social. I have Messenger, I have Reach, I have Facebook, I have Cleaner, Instagram, Pinterest, because I love Pinterest, not because I use it for the business, but what is that? Captivate and Snapchat. I use Snapchat a lot because a lot of my potentials go to my phone. So that's really big. If you Snapchat your potentials, you're also building a relationship with them. So I build a lot of my relationship through Snapchat as well. Because I think about it back when I was in college, a lot of my friends would Snapchat. So that's how I think about it. But anyways, so Captivate is this app and Cleaner is an app. So Captivate follows, Cleaner unfollows. So Captivate is where you can go and you guys know on the search bar of your Instagram where it basically shows you the Explorer, like see that search bar? It's going to show you all the people that come up in that Explorer. So they're usually a lot of popular people for me. Like this is a really popular blogger in Texas. So once I press and click, it takes me to her account. She has 720,000 followers. So what I'm going to do is I can either follow her followers or follow the people that are liking, which is usually what I do on someone who's got a big account, because I'll click on their likes because they're more active on Instagram, which she has 12,000 likes. So it's going to take a while for this to process. But once it does, I can basically hit the bottom button. It's going to take a minute to show y'all, but I push the bottom button and then I click follow. Or select all, and then I'll click actions, and then I'll click follow. So hang on just a second. It's going to take a second to load. She's got a lot of followers, or a lot of likers. So,
It follows all her likes in one.
This is changing my life right here, right now. Like,
yeah. Okay, so this has all of that 12,000 likes. These are just the likes on that post,
and
okay?
you can either go through and manually pick or select all of them.
You can quick select. I will never manually. That would be like horrible time waster for me. So then you can select all. See that? I can't do this upside down very well. Select all. Yeah. It just selected about 994, which is fine. Sometimes it selects less than 12,000, but that's totally fine by me. Then you can click this actions button. Follow. Watch this.
Stop. Lindsay's mouth just dropped open.
Wait a minute.
I'm so mad I did not know this. Like, yes. Oh my gosh.
You know what? I have that
I'm
app.
about to change my life tonight.
I watched your other video, and I have the app and never opened it. Now I'm so mad.
Amazing. So watch. It's going to show completed. It's going to go to 50. 50 is the max. Then you can click add to pending actions. This is background actions. So you can be sitting around doing nothing, and this app will be running for you. Now, what's amazing, and this is what Carrie and I got in a conversation about, because she was like, it's gone. I'm like, no, it's not. Is that you can go, okay, so you're going to go back to your homepage. Am I on my homepage? Yes. Okay, I'm on my homepage. You're going to click the settings button in the lower right corner. Okay, then you're going to see that night mode right there, the second one. I'm going to click that. And then it's automatically going to, once I click start, it's going to turn it on night mode. Watch the little emojis going across the page. It turns it dims the phone. So you want to have your phone plugged in, but it's going to dim it so it's not super bright. And all night long, it will be following. Now, you do not want to close your phone, so you can't even click the lock, because watch what happens. It's going to tell me, I don't think y'all can read that. It's going to say your actions, make sure to keep it running. So you have to have it open, but as long as you have your phone plugged in, you're good to go. So this is actually what I do during the day. A lot of times I message off of my laptop. So if I'm cooking, night mode's on. If I'm cleaning, night mode's on. If I'm in the car driving from one place to the other, night mode's on, because it follows so much. I literally have gained over 1,000 followers in the past week. So be careful though. One thing about Instagram is that you have to have an established account or else you're going to get blocked more easily. So you have to be more careful. I've been on this Instagram for over a year and a half, 2 years now, I think. And my numbers are now at 15.8 thousand followers. So I'm an established account. My newer account, for example, Blondie Boss Babe, has a little bit of a harder time. I can't follow as easily on there. I have to kind of take breaks. A lot of times I get blocked a little bit more easily because it's trying to catch spammers. And what happens is spammers get on, they create a new account, they buy a lot of followers, and then they spam you. So you just want to be careful if your account's not as established. So there's that. And as far as my account being public or private, I have nothing wrong with either one. Most of the time, my account, well, it depends. Okay, All Southern Blonde is my biggest account. It is usually always on public. However, I'm doing a strong following spree, which means it is going to be on private. When I'm on a strong following spree, that is easier to gain followers because they're not going to know what's going on your account. They get curious. Curiosity kills the cat. And therefore, they're going to try to follow you, and I gain so many more followers. So that's how that works. My newer accounts, Blondie Boss Babe and the Blondie Ambition, are both on private, and they probably will always stay that way. It's just part of preference. Like, I feel like my All Southern Blonde is kind of just like my stronger account, and it's my bigger account, so I just keep that on public because it also, being a leader and it works, like I want people to, learn from me. I don't want to stay like standoffish, if that makes sense. So I'm allowing that so that people can follow me, and it's not a big deal to me. I don't go and block. I don't know why people talked about that for the longest time. I don't go and block other distributors. Yeah, I think there are some like terrible people in the world, but it's going to get taken care of. I actually had that happen to me, and Susan took care of that twice. So it's funny, but that's kind of that's my opinion on that. How much time do I spend? None. I mean, I literally get that Captivate up and going, and then I just like do my day. I really don't spend time following. If I'm ever just like bored at a doctor's office, that's the task I would choose instead of messaging. Because I love having my list in front of me. Ryan's the opposite. If Ryan's, bored or whatever, sitting at a doctor's office, he likes to message because he'll just scroll and find somebody. But I like to be in front of my charts to be able to message. So if I'm bored, I will follow, and I will usually base that off a location. If I follow just manually, I'll go and find, think of an idea. Oh, Los Angeles, the Brooklyn Bridge, or whatever the frick I want to follow. And then I'll go find people there. So that's how that works. Yeah, you're probably exhausted trying to do it manually. How many of you guys feel like you guys are just like working all day long? Like, does anybody feel like that? This is what's going to change your life. Literally. This business, like, I feel like it's not meant to be worked all day long. You are going to get exhausted. I did. I was following, I was unfollowing, I was messaging, I was posting. I used to post 8 to 9 times a day. Are you kidding? I post once a day now. And a lot of what I post doesn't even make a lot of the difference. What makes the difference is my messages, like who I'm talking to, because I'll get a few people who come to me, but a lot of it is me reaching out to them. So yeah. What other question? Oh, I see another one. No, I literally post once a day. It can be about whatever I want. Like tonight, I didn't say anything to do with It Works. It was me in a pumpkin patch from 2016 with Ryan, and I said Happy Halloween. Like, my posting doesn't exactly mean as much as it does messaging. What means a lot to me is the Insta stories. I want to show people what I'm doing instead of just posting what I'm doing. A lot of what I want is the likes on my posts. Like, how everybody's like freaking out about the number of likes on their pictures? I freak out about the number of likes on my picture. And the reason why is because I know that more people are watching me. More people that see my posts, the more that they know what I'm doing. So I take a really important picture. I don't really show before and after pictures except for in my Insta story. I'll do polls on Insta stories, and I'll do a lot of my like reaching out through posting on my Insta stories, but never on my actual post. I'll show y'all what my Instagram looks like. So this is actually really just showing my personal life, like literally pumpkin and getting lots of likes and comments. That's important. Like, I'm going to reply back to that person. If I can get like 190 to 200 to 400, I'm like happy. This one was my first post in a while that had money, and it didn't go as well for me, except for I had a few people inbox messaging me a picture of this. So, every once in a while you'll see me. I didn't even notice there's a freaking website on the shoe. Whoops. I got to yeah. But a lot of what I post is from Pinterest, or, a lot of these pictures from like 2015. I always look like this all day long. So, yeah, that's my Instagram. All day long is what I look like. I usually like take a bunch of pictures all at once, and then I will do that. And so I don't have to, I'll change my outfit and take a bunch of pictures, and I have a like white brick wall. It's pretty awesome.
Being Alyssa, your makeup is on point. It looks really good.
I know, it does look really good. Okay, so I'm trying to think of what other things I have to like share with you guys. I have so many PLCs and PDTs now in my phone that I'm changing them over after I have followed up so many times to an old PDT or old LC. So that's a new list that I have, and it's been going great because I can focus more on the people who really want this rather than like the duds, who I've just been talking to and following up for a really long time. And I don't like ever stop following up. So I just want you guys to know that like I will go until literally they block me. That's basically it. Like, it's not complicated. It really is like so simple when you just put it all together and put it to work. It's all about action. So every single day you guys will see me doing this, like every single day. And what's great is it's duplicatable. It's something that people can understand, messaging for 15 minutes every hour and then taking breaks throughout the day and then just using an app to follow. Like, that's all it takes on Instagram. I don't have as many tips for Facebook. I wish I did. A lot of what I post on Facebook is my diary. I bought a new dining room table. I show that. I don't talk a lot about It Works in a lot of my posts because people know that's what I do. And so I really just share mostly like my lifestyle, what I do on a daily basis, if I'm buying new things, if I'm out grocery shopping, that's what I post. I don't post all that much. Like, I'll do before and afters every once in a while, but a lot of what gets me a lot of distributors is just my lifestyle, showing that this is the life that I live. So does anybody have any other questions? That's literally all I do. And it works. I mean, I enrolled 5 distributors and over 20 loyal customers this month. So another huge tip is urgency. You've got to make sure that you are like letting these people know that time is limited. They can't just like walk all over you. You have to be in control. And that's the same thing with distributors. I actually was talking with Claire recently in a way of like us trying to get like stronger recruits. So some questions that we ask, and I have to go grab my book because I seriously just started implementing it, but it's working. So let me grab it. It's great questions, like really, really great questions to ask. And so that way it shows that you're in the lead and not them. Let me see what's in here. Okay. Okay. So you don't want to sell this business as it's easy. Hang on. Okay. You, when you're talking to a DT, like I know that signs a lot of people. That's great. I can sign a lot of people if I said it was easy, but it's not. So I'm not going to lie. It is easy once you've kind of gotten the swing of things and you've got a schedule, but it's not easy. Y'all know that. It's not easy just to join and then try to figure out how you're going to work this. And then basically I say this. I say, if you're willing to be coachable and work hard up front, this is for you. Like, I'm going to be that blunt with them. The next thing, I ask them this question. Basically, right from the start, I tell them, like, so we are a health and wellness company that offers over 30 plus amazing products. I know everybody has that script. Like, I think Susan uses it too. But that's the one that I use. And then that gives them kind of a little gist of what we do. But then I ask them this. I say, so why don't you let me know what questions you have, and we will see how great of a fit this will be for you. The reason why we ask, both Claire and I are starting to ask this question, is because you're kind of like making them work hard for you. You're kind of like they're having an interview in a way that they're making themselves sell themselves to you, and you want that. You want a new PDT to sell themselves to you because they're going to want it more, because they're going to be like, oh my gosh, like she's got limited spots. Like I want this so bad. Does that make sense? Instead of like it being the other way around. So that's a question. I'll say it again. So why don't you let me know what questions you have, and we will see how great of a fit this will be for you. And so, that's just great too, because you can hear what questions they have. So you can kind of hear what concerns they have, and then you can just voice message them back and let them know. And that's how I build relationships, is through the voice messages. The next question I'll ask is, so how much money do you want to make? That's pretty self-explanatory, but that helps me figure out their why. And basically I tell them, okay, I'm going to give you very specific things to do each day. Are you ready? And then they're ready. So usually in those questions, they're asking the things that I have answers for. The last girl was asking me, you know, how do I get started? So I answered that. She was asking, you know, how can I work this? And so I was explaining that they can work it any way that they want. There's no script for that. It's just your own voice, you know, using your own voice. Like usually when I start out a PDT message, it's, so we're a health and wellness company, 30 plus, you know, that thing. And then I tell them, so as reps, I don't even know the script. It's basically that. And then from there, that's when I ask that question. So why don't you let me know what questions you have, and we'll see how great of a fit this is for you. That is when everything just spills out, and it's like throw up on you as a recruiter. And you're like, okay, let me send a voice message because this is a lot of questions. And they'll be like, so how much money do you make with this? I hate when people ask me that question. I think it's lame, but they'll ask that. They'll ask, you know, what do you do on a daily basis? So I basically say I talk to people on a daily basis about how amazing these products are and how amazing this business is. Pretty self-explanatory. I really keep it simple. I don't go into at 12 o'clock I do this, at 1 o'clock I do this. I don't do that kind of thing. I keep it really, really simple. And again, I keep the confidence. The confidence is a major key. So make sure to write that down. So over voice text, they can hear that I'm excited for them, that I'm confident, and that they're going to make this a good fit for them because they've got all these questions answered. So does anybody have questions about all of that? Any questions? No? Okay, well, awesome. Meredith, do you have any other last minute things or questions or anything else?
I think so. That was amazing. I mean, I just took a lot away from this.
That's awesome.
I mean, and I had already seen some of your stuff, and I mean, some of the stuff you were saying was familiar to me, but there were several things that I'm going to be implementing personally. So
yeah,
thank you so much.
Absolutely. I keep it so simple, y'all.